The ship loomed like a giant, weary beast against the backdrop of the stormy sea, its once proud hull now a canvas of rust and despair. The air was thick with the scent of salt and oil, mingling with the tension that crackled among the gathered crew. They stood in a semicircle, eyes fixed on the engine sprawled open like a wounded creature, its innards exposed as if pleading for salvation. Whispers of doubt echoed in the cold wind, each word a dagger twisting deeper into their hearts. The experts had come and gone, their faces etched with frustration, leaving behind an unshakable weight of hopelessness. In the distance, the sound of a familiar step broke through the despair, a steady rhythm that resonated with a promise of change. The admiral approached, his presence commanding yet gentle, like a lighthouse guiding lost ships home. He carried with him the ghosts of battles fought and the wisdom of years spent in service, a life entwined with the sea that shaped him. As he drew nearer, the crew felt a spark of something long forgotten, hope. It was in the way he surveyed the broken engine, his eyes narrowing, not with judgment, but with an understanding that went beyond mere mechanics. He'd seen machines falter before, but he knew that sometimes the heart of an engine needed more than just skilled hands. It required a soul. Years ago, in a small workshop filled with the scent of burning metal and oil, a young sailor toiled under the watchful eye of an old mechanic. The boy was all hands and dreams, his fingers dancing over gears and bolts, coaxing life into machines that had long been abandoned. The mechanic, grizzled and wise, would often pause to share stories of the sea, tales woven with laughter and tears, igniting a fire within the boy's heart. It was there that the seeds of determination were planted, nurtured by the belief that every machine had a soul waiting to be awakened. As the boy grew into a man, the workshop became a sanctuary, a place where he learned that the pulse of the sea echoed in the rhythm of engines. He understood that every hum and sputter was a language of its own, a dialogue between man and machine. This bond forged a resilience within him, a quiet confidence that no challenge was insurmountable. But life had a way of pulling him toward the vastness of the ocean, away from the comforting embrace of the workshop, leading him to the call of duty and the honor of serving his country. In those moments of quiet reflection, he often wondered if the old mechanic was watching, proud of the man he had become, and whether he would one day return to the place where it all began. The storm raged on, a reflection of the turmoil within the young sailor's heart, as he stood in the workshop, surrounded by the familiar scent of grease and metal. The old mechanic, with his weathered hands and gentle eyes, had just delivered the news that echoed in the silence between them. Sometimes it's not about fixing what's broken, but about knowing when to let go. Those words hung heavy in the air, a decisive rupture that marked the end of an era. The sailor felt a shudder deep within, as if the very foundations of his world were crumbling. He had always believed in the power of his hands, but now he questioned his worth, feeling the weight of failure pressing down on him. Months passed, and the call of the sea grew louder, drowning out the echoes of doubt. Yet the sailor carried the memory of that day like a scar etched into his soul. He left the workshop, but the lessons and the bond he shared with the old mechanic remained, haunting him. As he sailed across vast waters, chasing horizons, he often wondered if the mechanic watched from the shore, pride or disappointment flickering in his gaze. It was a bittersweet realization that the sea, while offering freedom, also demanded sacrifice. Each wave that crashed against the hull felt like a reminder of the dreams he had abandoned and the unspoken words left behind. Fast forward to the present. The atmosphere on the ship was thick with tension as the crew faced the broken engine. The Almirante's presence ignited a flicker of hope, yet the emotional scars from the past lingered like shadows. The sailor, now a seasoned veteran, felt the weight of his memories as the crew looked to him for guidance. He could see the desperation in their eyes, mirroring his own youthful despair. It was in those moments of silence where words failed that he understood the depth of connection forged between man and machine. The fear of failure loomed large, threatening to engulf him once more. But the thought of the old mechanic's wisdom urged him to fight. As the hours dragged on, with the storm howling outside, the sailor summoned the courage from within. He knelt beside the engine, hands trembling but resolute, and closed his eyes. He envisioned the old mechanic, a guiding spirit, whispering encouragement into his ear. With each turn of the wrench, he poured his heart into the work, channeling the pain and memories into the machinery. The engine became more than just a complex system of parts. It transformed into a living entity, a testament to resilience and hope. In that moment, the sailor realized that this was not just about repairing a ship, but about reclaiming his own spirit, healing the scars that had haunted him for too long. The storm raged around the old vessel, each wave crashing against the hull like a relentless drumbeat. The ship, a once mighty colossus, now reduced to a weary giant, creaked under the strain of the tempest. Inside, the mood was somber, a palpable tension permeating the air, as the crew huddled around the engine room. The heart of the ship, a complex engine, lay silent and still, a ghost of its former self, betraying the crew's desperate attempts to revive it. Frantic voices mixed with the sound of howling winds. But amidst the chaos, there was a glimmer of hope. The admiral had arrived. His presence commanded respect, and with it came the promise of knowledge and experience that could lead them through the darkness. As the admiral surveyed the scene, he recognized the despair etched on the faces of the sailors. He was no stranger to challenges. The sea had tested him time and again. With a firm voice, he reminded the crew that recovery was not solely a mechanical endeavor, but one that required soul, heart, and resilience. This ship has weathered many storms, he declared, his voice rising above the din. It is not just metal and gears. It is a testament to our spirit. We must breathe life back into her. His words resonated, sparking a flicker of determination within the crew. They were reminded that they were not alone. They were part of something greater, a legacy woven through generations of sailors. In the midst of the growing resolve, the narrative wove back to a time long before, where a young and eager sailor stood at the feet of a grizzled mechanic. The old man, with hands calloused for years of labor, became a mentor, teaching the boy not only the intricacies of machines, but the delicate balance of letting go. Sometimes, the mechanic had said, "You have to know when to hold on and when to let go." Those words echoed in the young sailor's mind as he navigated the unpredictable waters of his own life. Now, years later, he found himself grappling with the weight of the past, questioning whether he had made the right choices. He could almost feel the old mechanic's presence beside him, urging him forward, reminding him of the lessons learned. Back in the engine room, the tension reached a boiling point. The crew's frustrations mounted as they attempted to diagnose the failure. With every failed attempt, the sense of despair grew heavier, yet the experienced sailor felt a stirring within him. He recalled the mechanic's wisdom, the importance of understanding not just the mechanics, but the spirit behind them. Taking a deep breath, he stepped forward, ready to guide his crew through the storm. He could almost hear the old man's voice in his ear, urging him to channel his pain into purpose. As he knelt beside the engine, he reached out, placing a hand on the cold metal, feeling the vibrations of the ship beneath him. This was not just machinery. This was a reflection of their struggles, their triumphs, and their resilience. As he worked, he began to see the engine not as a failure, but as a canvas upon which he could paint hope. With each twist of the wrench and every turn of the screw, he infused the machine with his own spirit, drawing from the depths of his memories, remembrances of laughter, tears, and moments of triumph. The engine, once a symbol of despair, began to transform into a beacon of resilience, reflecting the journey of every sailor who had ever traversed the vast, unpredictable sea. The crew rallied around him, their fears slowly dissipating, replaced by a renewed sense of purpose. They were no longer just repairing a ship. They were reclaiming their pride, their identity, and their connection to the ocean. The storm continued to rage outside, but inside the engine room, a different kind of storm was brewing, one of determination and hope. The sailors worked tirelessly, their hands moving in unison, fueled by the shared belief that they could bring the ship back to life. The admiral, watching from the doorway, felt a swell of pride as he witnessed the transformation. The young sailor had become a leader, guiding his comrades through the darkness. In that moment, the admiral understood that the heart of the ship was not just the engine, but the spirit of the crew, their willingness to fight against the odds. Eventually, after what felt like an eternity, a spark ignited within the engine. The roar of the machinery filled the room, drowning out the storm outside. Cheers erupted from the crew, their faces lighting up with joy and relief. The young sailor, tears of triumph glistening in his eyes, felt a wave of energy wash over him. He had not only repaired the engine, he had mended the fractures within himself. The memories of the mechanic became a source of strength, a reminder that the journey of a sailor is not just about the sea, but about the bonds forged through adversity. As the ship steadied, the admiral stepped forward, placing a hand on the young sailor's shoulder. "You have done well," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You've breathed life back into the ship and into your own heart." The young sailor nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. He had not only honored the lessons of his past, but had also paved a new path for the future. With the engine roaring to life, the ship surged forward, cutting through the stormy seas, a testament to resilience, unity, and the unwavering spirit of those who dared to dream. In the days that followed, as the storm cleared and the sun broke through the clouds, the crew found themselves reflecting on their journey. They had faced despair and uncertainty, yet through it all, they had discovered a renewed sense of purpose. The bond between them had deepened, each sailor carrying a piece of the collective spirit that had brought them through the tempest. The young sailor, now a seasoned leader, understood that their struggles were not just about survival, but about embracing the lessons of the past and forging a path into the future. The ship sailed on, a proud vessel navigating the open waters, its engine a symbol of resilience and hope. The crew, united by their shared experiences, became a family, each member contributing to the legacy of the ship and the memories of those who had come before. The ocean, once a source of fear, now felt like home, a vast expanse of possibility stretching before them. And as they faced new challenges, they did so with the knowledge that they were not alone. They carried with them the spirit of the sea, the wisdom of the past, and the determination to navigate whatever storms lay ahead.